Welcome to Call Your Girlfriend.
A podcast for long-distance besties everywhere.
I'm Anne Friedman.
I'm Aminatu So.
This is an episode where we just talk about things that happened in culture all year long as sort of like things to watch or listen to or read while you're ignoring your relatives / relaxing during the holidays.
Sold. Yeah, no, that sounds awesome.
Call your girlfriend. It's time you had the talk. Give your reasons. Say it's not her fault. But you just met somebody new.
So I guess we're already reviewing 2014, even though it's not the end. Yeah.
Do important things happen in the last month of the year, though? Important culture things?
You know, last year Pusha T released an album after I had decided what my favorite albums of 2013 were, and I was very upset. So, you know, sometimes things drop.
I mean, late-breaking Beyonce, too. That was pretty late in the year.
Yeah, but it was still early enough that it made it, right? Ugh, Pusha T, don't hurt my feelings.
Does that mean we're talking about music first?
I guess so. So, I don't know, Anne. I mean, I guess you've known me for a long time. There was a time where I cared a lot about music, hashtag, and then I don't know what happened. Like, either I'm, like, getting older or I just have, like, more stuff to do. I just, like, do not care about music in the way that I used to, and it, like, mildly amuses me.
There was a very annoying article about this recently that tried to make lots of social arguments for why older people care less about music, but really it didn't take into account we're just super busy.
I know, right? Like, we're busy, but also I guess what I'm saying is that I don't care about, like, the in music. I listen to a lot of top 40, like, pop music, and that makes me happy. It's, like, all I want to hear about.
That's fine. In fact, I feel like a lot of older people have insecurities about not knowing the pop music the kids are into these days. It's the opposite.
Gotta listen to that car music. That's how you stay on top of the kids.
It is true. Kiss FM is the only thing that keeps me pop music relevant.
I don't know what the equivalent for that in the Bay Area is, but there is one station. I obviously don't drive, or I'm never in a car, but I have this radio app, LOL. And there's two things I love about the Bay Area. One, there is a station that definitely only plays Ludacris. Every time I'm on the dial, I'm like, how, Ludacris again? He has 17 songs. I don't understand. And it's all time of day or night. But the top 40 station is pretty good. I don't remember what it's called, but it's pretty good. Solid Taylor Swift rotation this week.
So 2014 picks from you, Taylor Swift, obviously.
I mean, obviously, Taylor Swift's everything. I really like Tinashe. I think she's reminded me a lot of Janet Jackson and her how sensual she is and it's just good getting through a party music, the end of the party sexy time music. I've really enjoyed that. I've been listening to a lot of Hooray for the Riff Raff. I really like that young lady. I think she is really rad. And it's kind of my work time music.
Listen to you trying to pretend you don't listen to cool music.
I do. What are you talking about? Hooray for the Riff Raff is cool.
That's what I'm saying. You were I don't keep up with music anymore, and you were just
I mean, not really.
Cool stuff.
I'm not here's my 17 obscure humans. This is all NPR certified.
Oh my god, I was just about to say that I am so ashamed by the NPR first listen tilt of all of the stuff I've listened to this year.
You gotta get content somewhere. Also, NPR, those first listens were good. I think they had the one for Jenny Lewis, and I spent so much time on the NPR website because of it.
Oh man, can we discuss Jenny Lewis for one moment?
Talk to me about Jenny Lewis. White ladies have a lot of Jenny Lewis feels. Talk to me.
So I have never, as you know, I have been known to mock Rilo Kiley while also knowing all of the lyrics. Or many of the lyrics. not mock, but just like, I don't know. There's something about it that I'm sort of like, yeah, this is a nice pop song, but I don't really feel like obsessed with it or super into it. And
That's crazy.
But and I was going to say that changed with this new Jenny Lewis album, and I kind of realized a few weeks in that it was all I was listening to.
I'm not gonna break for you. I'm not gonna pray for you. I'm not gonna pay for you. That's not what ladies do.
You know, 30-something kava-drinking lady vibes. is how I feel about that.
You didn't feel this way about the Jenny Lewis and the Watson Twins album? Because I feel that for me, that was the Jenny Lewis turning point. I went to that show by myself. I lived in Austin. Pretty sure I was going through a friend breakup. And there was supposed to be 2 of us at the show, and there was only one. The album is like very core to me. I was like, oh, maybe I could fall in love one day.
What's the cover on that album? Don't they do a cover? There are a couple songs from that album that I liked, but I was not into it in the repeated, oh shit, I've been listening to nothing else kind of way.
You weren't like rabbit fur coat forever.
I was not rabbit fur coat forever. I also think, I'm just going to say it, I have like an ex-Disney star prejudice against her that I don't hold against more mainstream ex-Disney pop stars, because for some reason it like fits with their narrative, but because she went alt post Disney, I'm not saying that this is like I think that this is kind of a shameful personal assessment.
Yes, no, I 100% agree with that.
But I judge a little bit. I won't lie.
It was so long ago. Also, was it Disney or Nickelodeon?
I don't know. But you know,
Because
that kind of the child
I
star
mean,
vibes.
I don't know. There's a difference. Disney stars, Nickelodeon stars. Somebody fact check this.
Where are they now?
Where are they now?
How alt are they now?
I don't know. That's funny. I guess I didn't live in America in that time. / maybe I'm a little too young. But yeah, I've never associated her with like whatever the show was. Salute Your Shorts, whatever my troops, or whatever it's called. Unclear. Like that thing.
Applaud my troops.
Yes, applaud my troops. I'm like vaguely aware of it, but like kind of don't care enough. What else have we been listening to? Oh, I like the new Khalees album a lot. It was really good. Well done, Khalees. Another NPR first listen.
It feels just like it should. And wake up and this is what it looks like. So don't miss this. This is what it looks like. So call on me. It feels just like it should. So call on me.
Fantagram was great. But for me, really, this was the year of Drake. I fell in love with Drake all over again. You know, I love Drake, and I didn't think he could surpass himself, and he did. He just, like, what a delightful human.
Tell me you read Gia Tolentino's incredible interview with Drake's vocal coach.
No, it's on my to-read list.
Well,
next, we'll talk about how I haven't read anything this year.
It's fine. I just want to let you know you're in for a treat, and it made me love Drake so much.
I mean, obviously it's a woman, right? That is, like, teaching him all those modulations.
It's like a middle-aged southern white lady who seems awesome.
And everything Drake does is for the moms. Like, he's on the record about this. He has done everything perfectly this year. From just his, like, investment in the Raptors, his Instagram is on fire, just
Emoji
the music, the emoji tattoo. Yeah, no, this was the year of Drake. I mean, maybe every year is the year of Drake.
And I also love the definitive Drake answer about the, is it praying hands or high five? Like, incredible. Obviously praying hands.
I mean, obviously. Yeah, no, Drake can do no wrong.
Damn. Fuck how it was in the past tense. Ask yourself, how do we match up now? Cause I'm only 27 and I'm only getting better. If I haven't passed you yet, watch me catch up now, for real.
Another thing that's been interesting for me this year, and I don't know if it's because I, like, moved from the East Coast or because I work around like tech people, I've been listening to so much more rap music. It makes me very happy. It's like in the morning, I only get ready to rap music. I like walk to my bus to like listening to very angry rap music, and it's been a very good experience.
Get your game face on.
I know, right? So my recommendations on this front are Bobby Shmurda. Love you, Bobby Shmurda. Probably like he is not a good person, but he has great lyrics.
Shorty love the way that I flow out. Free greasy them, let all of my dogs out. Mama sent no pussy cats inside my dog house. That's what got my daddy locked up in the dog.
I don't think much music we endorse is because they're good people, though. Let's be honest.
I don't know. Some people are good people. Jenny Lewis is good people.
I don't know. Probably.
Drake is good people. I know, but you know, some of these people are problematic. So love Bobby Shmurda, love Rich Homie Quan, love Rich Gang, love Young Thug. But my favorite music news of the entire year is that Remy Ma finally came home from jail, and I love her, and I think that she's going to do so great next year. She's like already dropping like featuring beats on other people's music, and it's great.
2K15 preview.
I'm the queen. I got a crown, ho. I wet bitches. I try to drown hoes. This is Punisher. I ground hoes. I don't play that. Homie the clown hoes. She a deuce. She got chucked up. These pussies loose. She got fucked up. You act bougie. You get stuck up. I'm about $1. You get bucked up.
Love you, Remy Ma. She's like, her Instagram game is also perfect. She's like, she hashtags everything I'm around. I'm like, yes, you are around. I love you. Thank you for coming home.
I love it. My sort of like kind of adult, easy listening, but still upbeat that I can work to music of this year was that Sinkane album. Which
wow.
I feel like it's I really struggle to find things that are.
Then I realized that I moved and I forgot about the whole first half of my year. I was like, oh, that was in 2014. I was going around telling everybody I haven't been to the movie theater all year, and apparently that's not true. So I'm just going to put this out there. The Lego Movie is the best movie I saw all year.
I love the Lego Movie.
I don't care what anybody says. It was like the stoner comedy of the year, and it was delightful.
The Lego Movie was one of 2 movies that I saw alone and stoned this year. The other one was Gravity.
Oh my god, that's intense.
So I accidentally, because of the aforementioned stoner situation, I accidentally bought like a fucking $20 3D ArcLight ticket in LA, and ended up, in the kind of like LA movie nerd, like we're throwing all of our like high-tech cinema experience at you for Gravity. And while I wouldn't have planned it that way, I feel like it was awesome, and now I can never watch Gravity again because that was the lone experience for me. I had a moment.
I'm pretty sure I saw Gravity last year, but it was like the same. It's like I saw Gravity, and this is all 2013 for me. It was 2013 stoner Anne, but who knows? You could have seen it this year. There's no shame in your movie game. But it was one of those, like, I saw that, and then the next day I saw 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, definitely 2013. And I was like, I'm never watching another movie about space, and I'm never watching another movie about slavery, because all of my emotions are just, like, gone. What else did we see this year? Didn't you like Boyhood? Yes?
I did. I did. I liked it, but it left me really bummed out about, like, moms. Just like the plight of momhood. And I know that lots of people wrote about this, and that's not necessarily like an original female takeaway from this movie, but so that was one thing I thought. I was just like, it's probably a little too real about having to be the parent who does the day in and day out, not the cool parent work. But it also really left me wanting a girlhood movie that wasn't trying to make some statement about girlhood and how it's tough, or how girls are under siege, or about, not something like 13, like, troubled teen girls, like not like Welcome to the Dollhouse, just sort of like an equivalent movie about a female experience.
I want to make a movie called Girls Are Under Siege. It would be epic. protect your girlhood.
I mean, it would be like Under Siege, but like instead of like 80s Steven Seagal, it's all just like girls being total badasses.
I mean, so just like regular girls all the time.
Exactly.
That's funny. What else did we see? Oh, I think I saw like Grand Budapest Hotel in like Too Many Planes this year.
Was that this year?
I think so.
I thought that was last year.
I mean, I definitely watched it on a plane this year.
I definitely also watched it on a plane.
Yes, that's this year, March 7, 2014. Yeah, that movie was so weird. I think I watched it like 4 or 5 times, and I think it's our friend Amanda Matos who said this. She was like, it's like a Fabergé egg, beautiful, but like it holds no function. And I was like, yes, that is the best way to describe that movie. Thank you.
It's true.
I haven't been like super taken by anything movies. It's also because I don't give a shit about the Oscars anymore.
Right.
I'm not a good student of pop culture this year.
I think it's totally justifiable to be more into TV than movies these days.
I mean,
like, that is, yes.
That's what's going on. Oh, one plug that I will make, and I have no shame about, I saw every Kevin Hart movie this year, and
Rank them, please.
Those were delightful. Ride Along was great. Think Like a Man 2, like, who knew there could be a movie better than Think Like a Man? And About Last Night. I love watching these, like, rom-coms with just, like, people of color in them are great. Also, Kevin Hart is one of those guys where it's finally his wave has come, and it is a delight to just watch him ride the, like, fame wave. He's like, I've been here all along. Like, fuck all of you.
I mean, 3 movies, I did not realize that Kevin Hart was carrying 3 movies in 2014.
I know, he has like 5 movies next year. It's crazy. That man is everywhere. Hey, Anne, I went to the callyourgirlfriend.com and it looks different.
Oh my god, listen, I gave us such an upgrade. I use Squarespace and now all of our shit looks so good.
I am so impressed. It's like the website looks shiny and new, and more importantly, the shop has launched.
Oh my god, Squarespace has all this commerce functionality that is making it, I won't say easy because nothing is ever easy when you are a micro business like CYG, but making it as easy as possible for us to sell stuff and look good while we do it and tell people all about our podcast.
I'm so excited about this because you essentially set up that website in 10 minutes. And
I have no special skills or abilities.
I know. And you were able to like hook up the domain, like do the redirects. I'm so proud of you. All of that with no tech abilities. So thank you, Squarespace. And
thank you, Anne.
Thank you, Anne. And you know, the other great thing is that Squarespace offers 24/7 customer support. So everybody on the customer care team is an experienced Squarespace user, and they can help you with anything that you need. So why not?
If you need a personal website, if you have a podcast you're trying to promote, if you're trying to sell something online, Squarespace is a great answer for you. You can start a free trial today at squarespace.com and enter code GIRLFRIEND to get 10% off your first purchase.
Squarespace, set your website apart. This was a good year for documentaries, though. I will say I watch a ton of documentaries. The Roger Ebert doc, Life Itself, is so great.
Did you cry? I will cry when I watch it.
I mean, I cried. I love Roger Ebert. R.I.P. Still miss you. I still read like all of my reviews of my favorite movies on his website. And but the documentary is really well made. The Elaine Stritch documentary was really funny and delightful. Also, the Edward Snowden documentary was beautifully made, even though, Snowden. I have many problems, but I really like Laura Poitras's work. And this documentary is good because you like see her struggle with how much she wants to put herself in the documentary when she's like clearly an integral part of the story.
There was also a Vivian Maier documentary that I did not see that I would love to see. So, I mean, I feel like this whole conversation for me is just like, yes, stuff I would love to see that I never got around to.
I mean, the other thing that's true is that, like, I do, like, a huge bulk of my movie watching between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
So good thing we're talking about it now.
I know, because I don't have like time in my life to watch things that are not television or like read articles.
punches and bunches. Punches is thrown into your frontlets. Oodles and noodles. Bang bullets at suckers' noodles. Last album voodoo. Proved that we was fucking brutal. I'm talking crazy. Half past the clock is cuckoo. You rappers doodle. Baby shit. Just basic boo-boo. I'm talking voodoo. Mansa Musa. My money buku. My beats.
Tell me all your favorite TV this year, Anne.
Well, I had a very intense Transparent binge, which I don't think I would have made the effort to see. You know how bad I am about watching things when they first come out.
I know, this is
I
shocking.
know. But I had some good friends who worked on it, and so I felt kind of personally invested. It was one of those things where I hate almost every character deeply, or am at the very least annoyed, but was super held and compelled by it. So that, and there's also, it's really good at doing, and I'm trying to think of another show that is as good at this, but at those kind of like moments that don't really add up to anything, that don't feel totally tangential to the plot, because, you know, you're obviously still getting to know the character through them, but also aren't explicitly like, and here is how this moves this 1 hour drama forward. And I really love that, like, you know, this idea that you're just kind of, you know, peering in on someone's life and getting a slice of that in TV. And I think that's something that obviously has become associated with lots of highbrow hour-long dramas, but anyway, so that, and because of Moro's caftans, like just a woman in a caftan forever and ever, and
I mean, right? Ooh, so good.
All of that. Yeah, I don't know. So I hated it, but I loved it.
I really like that, because I guess it's like something I'm not super aware of, just like the very like LA Jewish experience. I really enjoyed like easing into that in the show. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, and you know, it is pretty delightful to get. I mean, I am not Jewish, and that is not the world I grew up in. I'm still sort of, and you know, it definitely is like an LA lifer kind of perspective on the city too. And I really love that. I think that, you know, the lifelong New Yorker, or the several generations in New York, is kind of a thing that's been explored before, but I haven't really seen the treatment of LA as a real city. And granted, this is sort of like a specific slice of like upper class LA, but yeah, that is like a bonus treat for me, them making references to like certain restaurants or whatever. it's like a cheap thrill.
So just like Entourage,
I mean, there's like a sexual like come on that involves the pupusa lady, and that's just everything.
That is pretty funny. I think this has been big TV year, right? I obviously really enjoyed Broad City. Who doesn't like Broad City? Just like great ladies. I've really been also enjoying the second season of High Maintenance. Yes. I didn't think the first season could be topped. And also just like my go-to classics. Like, I'm obsessed with The Good Wife, and it only gets better and better and better. And I was like, thank you, just Julianne Margulies, for all of your like contributions to television genius.
I am committed to not. So for years, basically decades, I've been saying that sometime when I have a major injury or illness, I'm finally going to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer and figure out what the fuss is about.
Oh my god, please tell me everything. I've never seen it.
But now I'm kind of thinking that maybe The Good Wife has jumped the queue, and I'm never actually going to ever watch Buffy.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. You're missing out on a lot by not watching The Good Wife. I think that it's the smartest of the cable TV shows that deals with technology and pop culture and politics, and it's very timely, weirdly. Like, those fools had a Bitcoin, like, entire arc before Bitcoin was even a thing.
It's like Law and Order, but for politics and policy.
Okay. That's not gonna work, but I'm gonna let it slide this one
Rip
time.
from the headlines.
I've been obsessed with a show on Showtime called The Affair. It's so good.
Tell me what is... I've never even heard of this show.
Oh my god. It's obviously about marriage. Like, 70% of good TV shows are about marriage. Like, always. So, this one is about Dominic Cooper from The Wire, LOL, and this woman, Ruth Wilson from Luther, who are having an affair during a New York summer, upstate New York. Each episode is split with the two main characters' perspectives on the affair and what's going on, and it's just like fascinating to see how your like own perceptions color your actions, right? And so in the character split, like their clothes will even look different because they remember things differently. And in Dominic Cooper's eyes, like he's like much handsomer and like much richer and always like better dressed and you know, like all of these things. And it's like, like that's
Men
not
thinking
what's
they're
happening.
better dressed than they really are is real.
Yeah, no, men are crazy. I've been watching a lot of Justified. Justified is my everything. We obviously all watched, maybe not you, but we all watched True Detective this year. And that was a delightful communal television experience, I will say.
I mean, I'm still trying to get around to Breaking Bad. True Detective is like... I'm...
Yeah, you're gonna need... Like, I don't know the amount of, like, medical issues that it's gonna take for you to catch up on this. I think you should just let it go. It's okay.
I mean, the sheer hours investment. This is the problem I have with watching, like, serialized TV in real time. I have a hard time sticking to a weekly schedule for anything.
It's 30 to 45 minutes a week of your time.
God, it's like how my parents used to try to get me to go to church. Like, an hour a week for the Lord is not that much. Like,
Okay, except that it is. It's like you have to drive there, then you have to make the small talk, and then the small talk after,
Thank
and
you.
then everybody has to go to lunch.
Where were you
That's
when I was
30
a
minutes.
preteen?
That easily turns into 3 hours. So I'm not... You can tell your parents talk to me about this. I'm not buying it. I don't know. There was some good, like, HBO comedy. Veep was extra this year. It was just perfect. Silicon Valley was lol. We watched that together.
I did watch all of Silicon Valley and was greatly amused.
Yeah, I really like this season of Girls. Basically, what I'm saying is that I watch all of the TV. Like, I watch Prestige TV, I watch Crap TV. Atlanta Housewives is maybe my favorite TV show. It's perfect. I think that's where all of my free time goes. Like, everybody has a thing that's like their time suck, and for me it's catching up on like television.
I'm gonna write like an I don't know how she does it article about your media consumption.
I mean, I know how I do it. All I do is TV.
You also have friends. You also like consume other internet. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I dropped a lot of friends this year. It was. It's like if it's a reality TV show on Bravo or VH1 or MTV, I'm there.
She twines her spines up slowly towards the boiling sun. And when I touched her skin, my fingers ran with
Maybe this is why I don't read enough.
I mean, okay, transition to books. You clearly have also read lots of books this year, I know it.
No, I have not read lots of books this year, actually.
I mean, all of the Roxane Gay books.
I mean, yes. Let's...
Required reading.
There were 2 of those. Let's be real. There were 2 of those. I think that Roxane won, like, writing this year. It's not a competition, but if it were, just, like, give her the crown and walk away.
It is true. Books, magazines, Twitter, all of the things.
Yeah, no, she was, like, the Kevin Hart of books this year. She was everywhere.
All of it. And also, basically a one-woman, high, low, serious, funny, like, she has it all.
No, totally. She has it all. She's really smart. She's just, like... diversified her portfolio of offerings. She was just everywhere. It's like every week you turn around, new Roxane Gay book. I was like, what? But it was really good. So obviously, like, I read Bad Feminist and I loved it, and that was a book of essays. I think that Roxane is the first time that I've read somebody say that they used to, like, not call themselves a feminist or whatever, and I didn't immediately roll my eyes or was annoyed because I, like, got where they were coming from, but also, like, very few people are as delightful as Roxane, so there's that.
Right. A lot of leeway.
And she's, like, our nation's foremost expert on Sweet Valley High, so she can do
I thought you were
no
going to
wrong.
say our nation's foremost expert on Ina Garten.
I mean, that too. I saw Ina Garten tweeted her recently, and I lost my shit. It was so
Finally.
good.
I was sort of like, finally, wow, like welcome to the club, Ina.
I know. How do we get her on the show? How do we, like, get Ina to kick Jeffrey out and make Roxane, like, a permanent cast member?
I mean, goals. Maybe that's on the 2K15 wish list as well.
No, totally. And then I also read her other novel, Untamed State, that was really hard to read. And, you know, like I was like, this is going to be a great beach read. And then I'm in tears on the beach, like having a lot of emotion. But it was just like very beautiful.
I read it in 2 days, in part because it was incredibly written, but also in part because I was like, I don't know if I can drag this out into more of my life because it is so intense and all consuming. And I mean that in the best possible way, but you're totally right when you say it was hard.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. What else did I read this year? I read the Thomas Piketty book, but I will say this. I read it in French because whatever. That's my first language. So all you economists, holler at your girl.
Humble brag gift.
I mean, like, this is brag. It was very boring, but it was also good. It was like, you know, it's like, here's how I'm gonna keep up with, like, all of my European family, and here's the one that, like, boring thing we can talk about.
Pause button. Like, good? Like, you were like, can't wait to get home and get back into Capital right now?
No, like, good, like, oh, remember when I had a crush on that economics professor in college? If he had assigned this book, I would be reading it right now. Like that kind of good.
So it was a special relationship you had with the book.
I mean, yeah. And also, like, I read it way earlier in the year. I read it in French. I just, you know, I think that I, like, talk a lot about my lowbrow loves. So every once in a while, I gotta toot my own horn about, okay.
Fair enough.
I got this. I just read the Amy Poehler book, Yes Please. And so I have not read many of the celebrity, like, self-helpy books. I've never read the Mindy Kaling one. You know my feelings about Tina Fey. Ugh. So I can't, like, compare it to any of them, but I generally enjoyed this. I enjoyed that, like, Amy Poehler is not, you know, she's like the opposite of lean in. She's just like, girl, lean out. Like, some of this stuff is not your problem.
Mm-hmm. Is it really a memoir? I mean, I read, you know, Amanda Hess kind of did a joint review of a lot of famous ladies' memoir comedy books, and sort of like pointed out that it can be really difficult for especially women like Amy Poehler who have just been through a divorce or who have gone through other stuff in their personal lives that they clearly don't want to talk about, but also want to write a book that feels personal. Like, that tension was anyway to her, like, on display. And I haven't read the book.
No, totally. It's like she, you know, like, I think she's just like, yeah, this part of my life sucked, and I don't really want to talk about it, which I think is fair. Right. I don't think that you owe anybody, like, those parts of your life, but I did really appreciate, like, her chronicling, like, how she got to where she was in comedy, and a lot of it, like, she gives a lot of, like, really solid advice. I think that she gives some, like, very good call your girlfriend type advice. Tough love. And she also talks about just, like, calling out people who offend you professionally in these, like, very profound ways. And I was like, yes. Yeah, so like I said, the opposite of lean in.
Great. I read a fantastic memoir this year, which I think is just now coming out, that Thomas Page McBee wrote about his gender transition, but not really. It really is, like, the best way to describe it is just like a memoir, and I just thought it was really, really well done, and kind of like similar to An Untamed State. Like, really, it also deals with abuse, so it's like, I think subject matter wise, that's why it's making me recall it. But tough to read in places for sure. But it's also kind of short, and it's broken up really nicely and kind of jumps around in time in a way that that I don't know, that I really appreciated, and that I think that most memoirs are chronological and don't really play with, like, the fact that your memory doesn't work that way. You know, you don't, like, sit down and think about your life from day one moving forward. It's like experiences, like, trigger certain memories, and I don't know. So I was kind of, like, on a writing level, like, nerding about the structure, but I also really, like, was into the story.
Oh, awesome. I will put that on the list for, like,
It is
Christmas
called
to
Man Alive.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Do it.
That'll be good. What else did we read? Did you read anything else?
I mean, I read a lot of stuff that wasn't, like, 2014 books. Like, I mean, you know, that's the thing. It's like, I was like thinking about like, what did I read this year? And it's like, you know.
You're like, I finally caught up on my Susan Sontag.
I did, actually. I read On Photography this year for the first time. Or like, you know, oh, that Lori Moore book, novel I've been meaning to get
if
to.
only that Lori
Right.
Moore album forever.
Confusing Lori Moore and Laurie Anderson again. But yeah, like I one of my favorite books I read this year actually was a collection of short stories that I think is from last year, by Claire Vaye Watkins, called Battleborn. They're all sort of set in the rural American West, and it feels like if you could give Cormac McCarthy like a more female sensibility. That sounds really like lit class douchey critique, but I love, because it was kind of like that violent foreboding sort of short story set in like a desolate western landscape, but also like very emotionally raw and daring. I don't know, I was super into it, and it's called Battleborn. I endorse that highly.
That's good. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my list too. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I read a book called The Innovators, also about like innovators in tech. It's like your standard mill. Here's why all of these like boy wonders are really good. But one thing that I really liked about the book is that it put Ada Lovelace in just like in context of who she was in technology and why she's so important. And I think that it's the first time that I've read any like significant text on technology and hackers and the history of that, and that anybody bothered to mention that they were actually women who were a substantial part of the tech movement, and like that we should credit for a lot of the work that was done. So that was very surprising and delightful. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
And like mostly I read a ton of management books, but I'm not going to out myself and say which ones here. I don't think there were any good ones that came out this year, but yeah, in general.
You know, we're going to get an email being like, tell me your management book.
Maybe I'll just like make a list for the website.
The people want to know.
The people want to know. Oh, and then I read the Lena Dunham book that I really liked. So yeah, it's like, that's my year in books. I read like 7 books. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, busy. We're busy.
And we watch a lot of TV. Sorry.
Okay, wish list for 2015. What else would you like to see?
I think we have one. It's like, Sia, if you're listening to us, please record a period anthem. Like, that's highly important to us.
I feel like we have to... How did we get started talking about this? I think it was the last episode. We were like, what song do we play when we talk about our periods? And we like couldn't come up with the exact
there was like
one.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So we want that. I want like really good celebrity memoirs. I feel that the last good like celeb memoir I read was the Barbara Walters one. It was just like covered a ton of stuff, and I was like, please, like I need people to do work on this level again.
Right.
I want all of the Oprah Winfrey Show to be available on Netflix. Like, that would make me very happy.
Wow. You're blowing my mind right now. Things I hadn't even thought to hope for.
That's what I want. I want, like, the entire catalog of Oprah on Netflix.
Oh, on a related note, can we just talk about how there are no seasons of Murphy Brown even available on DVD? Like, let's get that somewhere. Yeah. So basically and it's a random season. It's not even the first one. Like, there's only, like, one season of Murphy Brown available on DVD, and there were 8. So, like, not only DVD, but can we get that on Amazon?
Yeah, like,
Netflix or something.
Somebody needs to get on this. All of these, like, back catalogs. Yeah, so that's my wish list for 2015. Oh, and a Remy Ma album.
Obviously. I mean, that seems like a decent place to close out the year. Not even the year, like to head into the holidays.
We'll definitely see All You Fools Before Christmas.
Definitely. Let's see, you can find us online at callyourgirlfriend.com and on iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter at callyrgf or send us an email at callyrgf@gmail.com.
See you on the internet.